Hi, I'm Chloe Howard. I'm a sophomore at Gatos High School. This last year has been crazy and exciting and intense and frightening and overwhelming and depressing. I was born with a clubfoot, which is where my foot was upside down and backwards, which causes problems if you want to walk or do anything like that. My first surgery was when I was 6 months old, and then another at 3, 4th grade, 8th grade, and then last year. I always felt comfortable with my foot. I was never really embarrassed of it. My parents really drilled it into me that my foot was special, and that's what made me special, and God shaped my foot the way He did for a reason. I had been bullied as a kid a little bit, because along with the clubfoot, I also only had 3 toenails, which not very many kids see every day. But last year, my freshman year in high school, I was called over by a group of girls that I knew, and they said, "Hey, Chloe, take off your shoe." It's like, what? And I said, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna leave my shoes on. The girl kneeled on the ground and tried to take my shoe and sock off, but I was kind of struggling because she was pretty strong. And so another girl came around the table and said, fine, I'll help. And she went behind me and grasped me with her arms and lifted me up off of the ground so the other girl could take off my shoe and sock and show everyone my deformed foot. And that was really hard. I was shocked and scared. I felt ashamed of the part of me that I've always been told made me special. I was just in a really fragile place. I constantly felt tears behind my eyes. I was scared that they would retaliate because I told on them. It even affected how I dressed. I wanted to hide myself because I was ashamed of my foot. I started wearing big sweatshirts, and I just was not comfortable with who I was, which was so different than how I usually felt about myself. That happened in November, and during Christmas break, my parents gave me the option of transferring. I chose to stay. I'm almost glad that I stayed because I learned a lot about myself and kind of started to make friends. Took off those sweatshirts. But also during Christmas, my dad got a Skype call telling him that he won a chance to meet Bono. He chose to bring me, his daughter, diehard U2 fan, and he walked in all his rock starness, and he was wearing all leather and had pink shades on. His hair was all cool. I introduced myself to Bono, and I told him this past year I was assaulted for a foot deformity I was born with. He stopped me and he said, what happened to you was an injustice. And we had this conversation about injustice and bullying. He said that when I use my voice and when my words are right and true, that it's like a punch. Not a physical punch, but a verbal punch. And my voice is then supported by the voices of many. And he said, well, in my family we have a prayer, and whether we say it in the kitchen or in the pub, it's that we are available for work. And when we make ourselves available for work, and we're open to God to work through us in our lives, then good things generally happen. In that moment, I kind of made myself a promise that I would work on opening myself to God, and see what happened. And that was really important to me in starting my healing process. A lot of people, they go through things, really hard things, and they're told that something great will come out of it, that God will turn it into something beautiful. But not a lot of people actually see that. I'm pretty lucky. My good thing happened pretty soon, and it seems like good things are continuing to happen. I mean, yeah, bad things still happen. I can stub my toe, or I'm kind of having friend troubles right now, but I now can see light at the end of the tunnel again. I have hope again that God will pull through, because I've seen him pull through. And even though sometimes as I'm lying in bed at night, I still feel like I'm talking to the wall when I pray. But I do know that he's there, and that he is supporting me through all this. Because I can see how he's brought some pretty awesome stuff out of this.